But let's continue. We got our first match of the night, which was the Butcher and the Blade with the Bunny, of course. MJF as well with Wardlow, excuse me. MJF was on commentary tonight, taking on the Young Bucks. This tag match wasn't bad. It actually really showcased the Butcher and the Blade tonight. Finally, you haven't really got to see them really put in some offensive skills in some of these matches that they've had. And being against a smaller, skinnier opponent where they can kind of throw them around a little bit, I thought the Butcher looked very, very good tonight compared to his other performances in his past tag team matches. But they lose again, Dave. They lose again. They have not won a match yet, unless I'm mistaken. Maybe they've won one on Dark. I'm not sure.
They beat. They won on Dynamite. They beat
did?
Cody and UT Marshall.
Oh, that's right. That's right. They beat those guys. But when it comes to serious legit tag team, contender tag teams, they have fallen short all occasions. And not only that, I'm going to get to MJF on the commentary booth in just a second. After the match was over, when they did beat them, of course, the Butcher and the Blade weren't happy. They attacked the Young Bucks after the match. And guess who comes down and saves the day? Mr. Kenny Omega and Hangman Page.
You're not a fan of Kenny?
No. I'm just saying, good old Kenny Omega and Hangman Page.
What you said? You're like, oh, here comes good old Kenny Omega.
No, I don't mean it. I didn't mean it to sound foul. And Hangman Page come out and take out Butcher and the Blade. And they beat up the Young Bucks once again. It just, to me, they had this hype for the Butcher and the Blade coming in. We got this little hype video before AEW Dynamite started, which I thought was good with Bunny and the Blade and the Butcher. And then they go out and they lose again. They have no momentum whatsoever. You want us to think there's some credible, hitmen, if you want to say, because that's what they seem to be for MJF. But they don't seem intimidating at all. It would have been nice to see them actually beat the Young Bucks, even if it was from help from MJF or Wardlow. At least they get a win, which I thought was going to happen. I even said it in the Discord chat room that I think the Butcher and the Blade win tonight because MJF is at ringside with them. Feel like this is a perfect opportunity to get them to win, even if it's a dirty win. Hey, it's a win. But no, they went the other route, not even getting any help for them to come down to, to help them out. And then, the Hangman Page with his beer, with the hold my beer moment of the night, where he comes down with a half-drinking beer, hands it to one of the Young Bucks, can't remember which one it was, and does his finisher on one of the, I think it was the Blade, and grabs his beer back and takes a swig of it. I thought that was pretty cool. I'm loving the Hangman character, really digging him. But what did you think of this tag match, Dave, and what do you think about them taking another loss to a credible opponent?
Well, I don't think it's not, because this is actually the first legit tag team they've ever faced. Because they faced Cody and Darby and lost. They maybe even faced Cody and Dustin and lost too. I don't remember. But those weren't really tag teams either. But still, you know what? I don't think it's about wins and loss, even though the show is all about wins and losses. But with the Butcher, the Blade, and the Bunny, it's more about the money. You like how it is? See that?
Hey, look at you, Dave. So you're saying they don't give a shit if they win or lose? They just want to get paid?
It's all about them making money. The old school tag team wrestling thing, like breaking necks and cashing checks. I mean, they just got the money. They beat up the Bucks and still got paid. So there you go. I mean, that's what they're kind of there for. Maybe they're not going where it really wins matter to them because they're not your traditional team. They're more of like this dark faction, type thing.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, I mean, but I thought the match was really good. I enjoyed it because this is the type of team the Bucks, like you said, they need to face. Because they need to face these bigger guys who are going to beat them up and get ready for that hot tag. And that's what tag team wrestling's all about.
Right.
What guy gets beat down in the corner for 10 to 15 minutes when he makes the hot tag, and there you go, and get the win.
Yeah, maybe they are basically the job squad, but they shouldn't be. Like a tag team like that, regardless, if Dave, put your past behind you because you know the Blade's past and who he used to be and so forth. But shouldn't they be See, I like the comparison there by Bobaruski, saying they're paid higher guns, a rougher APA. But what was what was the APA? They were known as fucking legit badasses. They were guys that you should not mess with. And if you were going to be going up against them, you were a little bit nervous. The Butcher and the Blade don't throw off those vibes to me whatsoever. The Butcher does. The Butcher could be an extreme force. The way that he's to me is that guy that is that psycho killer in movies where he does his regular job, but at night he's a fucking crazy ass, killer. That's what the Butcher reminds me of. Because he looks like Teddy Roosevelt. He doesn't look like a guy that will do, bodily harm to you. But he's an enforcer out there. But they treat him like shit. They really do. Like, I just, what I don't get. Like, I think they would have been better in the Dark Order than them just being by themselves and hired guns. You know what I mean?
Say they won't be.
That's true. I mean, they could eventually go with them. But it just seems like they're wasting away there. And I know it's early. They only been there like maybe a month or two. But it seems like they are dropping the ball with them. Or am I looking way too much into this?
I mean, they haven't done a great job booking them on TV, and a lot of people don't like them on here. They're just basically used to, they're like a secondary story team in the rivalry with Cody and MJF. And that's kind of what the Bucks are right now too, but they're involved in it. So they're making all these teams involved. Mm-hmm. And it's like it's just foreshadowing the big match that everyone's expecting to see at Revolution with the Bucks versus Kenny and Page.
Yeah, they've been teasing that up quite a bit. We'll get into that a little bit more. Let's get to the chat room real quick. What's up, Dre? How you doing tonight? Thank you for joining us. Dre says BMB and B are mediocre tag team. I agree with him on that. Freebird says, does it really matter which Young Buck it was? No, it doesn't. Pin me, pay me, says Truth and Loyalty. They need to change the name to Old Bucks because they are old as fudge, says Brian. Job Squad says Venom. Talked about Bob Ruski's chat comment in the chat room. Red Sox fans says those videos tonight for AEW were really fucking good. I agree with you on that as well. In the beginning, B&B were intimidating. Now they are a joke. Bingo. On that one, the AP have been and always will be badasses. Absolutely. I mean, don't try to fuck with JBL, period, because you'll lose your package, says Bob Ruski. Blade has been taking all the pinfalls. You're looking into it too much like always, says Red Fox fan. All right, well, thank you. I appreciate that. I just hope they start getting built a little bit better. That's all. I hate that oh, that scared the shit out of me. Thank you, Speeds.
At least Rio wasn't on the show tonight.
Yeah, Rio not on the show again. What's like? We're gonna get into the women's division and just. Well, why the fuck would you make her a champion if she can never be on the goddamn show?
Brock's never on the show. Well, now he is. But...
What?
Well, Brock's hardly ever on Raw. At least lately he has been, but most of the time.
Oh my goodness. Anyways, we'll get into her in just a few minutes. Now I lost my train of thought. Oh, it sucks that the tag division is based around just 3 people or 3 tag teams at the moment. Young Bucks, SCU, and Hangman and Omega. That is it. It's just about them. Prime time. Sorry.
God. You should call them Street Profits.
Private Party. No one gives a shit about them.
What? Yeah, they're just in the main event.
Yeah, in a 6-man tag match just to take a loss, which they took a loss. No one gives a shit about them. Butcher and the Blade, no one gives a shit about them. And Helico and Jack Evans, no one gives a shit about them. It's certain tag teams that they only give a shit about. The other ones they just put on the back burner and say, we'll get to you when we're ready. It's just, I don't get it. Jack Evans and Helico are same thing. Yeah, Santana and Ortiz, same thing. What are they doing? They ain't doing shit. That's all. They're another tag team. Pentagon and fucking Phoenix. Hello. What are they doing?
Mexico.
We haven't seen them on Dynamite in fucking 3 weeks. Since the botch of Christopher Daniels. Like, what is going on?
Well, would you we're not there yet, but with that tag match with SCU, I mean, would you rather them just lose to a tag team that hasn't even been on TV at all?
Yes!
That would make no sense at all. Look,
Give another tag team a chance. But
you're going to have your tag champions. All of a sudden, they lose the tag titles, and now a week later, they're just going to lose to some random tag team that no one other than the hardcore wrestling fans know who they are. People who are watching it on TV probably don't know who they are. A lot of them don't.
That's what you should have up and coming tag teams beat guys that are on a little bit of a losing streak. You know, it helps the other tag teams in the mix. You know, what the fuck does it do for Jack Evans and Angelico to win a match on fucking AEW Dark? Does nothing for them. Get a win in their record books. Woohoo! But when they're on the big time main event show, they lose.
Well, because it was tied to another story with the Dark Order.
I mean, I give you that. But Butcher and the Blade? You're telling me the Young Bucks couldn't lose tonight?
They lost. Hey, they already put over. Young Bucks did put over a team though in the tag tournament. They put over.
How many months ago was that, Dave?
Like in October. But I'm just saying, you talk about now no young teams are getting put over, no one else is getting put over but the same three. Well, they did put them over.
Yeah, and look where they're at now.
In the main event,
losing,
Jericho,
getting pinned.
It doesn't matter.
It does
You're in the
matter.
main event with Jericho. That's a good rub right there.
I mean, if they would have won, yeah. SCU could have lost and still had the Dark Order. Exactly. Bob Rousey, SCU could have lost and still had the Dark Order. They could have, you know what they could have done? You want to play up this fucking Christopher Daniels thing? They could have lost because of him. Say he gets not involved in the match, but somehow it gets to where he's getting distracted or he distracts someone on the team. Boom.
But they won it because of him instead, because he said, hey, look out, Kaz. That guy's jumping off. There, boom, move. Kick him. Match it over. They win. 1, 2, 3.
I think this
So
match...
talk about Coach Arn. How about Coach Daniels right there? He helped his team win.
Without a clipboard, too. So, yes.
He didn't need a clipboard. He didn't need to throw his flag or nothing.
Young Bucks get the win via pinfall and end up taking the win.
No, not just a pinfall. A Meltzer driver.
Yeah.